Life doesn't always work out the way you thought it would, but that doesn't mean that your life can't work out the way that you want it to. There's extreme power in that statement. I want to tell you a raw story about 3 key events in my life that changed everything for me. The first part of the story begins with an early morning phone call from my mom, who told me that my older brother Eric has been in a horrible car accident. He's had emergency brain surgery in the middle of the night, and the doctors say that he's probably going to die. Now, here's my brother, who's this vibrant person who's in his senior year of college, has his whole life ahead of him, knows what he wants to do. And the first time I see him after this, he's lying in the ICU, his head wrapped in a bloody white dressing with a metal post coming out of his head, face all swollen in black and blue, tubes in his mouth, in his chest. Didn't look like my brother at all. And this is what my brother has been deformed into. And for me, it changed everything. I mean, it changed my whole perception of life, because I could see how quickly you can go from a normal person to being someone who is going to have permanent damage to their brain and maybe even die. And in that moment, I realized that I needed to do something with my life. I was actually signed up in college to become a marine biologist. And from that moment forth, I decided that I wanted to be a neurosurgeon. I wanted to do something with my life where I could help other people like my brother, hopefully help them have a better life than he most likely was going to have. My brother survived the accident, was in a coma for 6 months, but he could never walk or talk again or ever take care of himself. The second part of the story, fast forward to my second year of medical school, I get a call from my mother who says having trouble using my hand. My mom used to love to write letters, and she couldn't write. And she called me and said, "I can't write this letter, Brian." And I came over and saw her right away, and yeah, her hand was weak. She couldn't move her hand right. So I was scared to death. My mom's scared to death. I took her to the hospital, where she underwent a CAT scan of her brain that showed 7 tumors in her brain. Now, this is my mom. My mom was normal yesterday as far as I knew, and now today she had 7 tumors in her brain, and I knew that that was a death sentence. You know, from the time my mother was diagnosed to the day she died was 3 months. And through that 3 months, she went through hell. She went through chemotherapy, radiation therapy, 2 brain surgeries, all her hair fell out. She was nauseated and vomiting all the time and just miserable. And that is the second part of the story that really accentuated in my life that I needed to be a neurosurgeon. I just knew there had to be more out there to help people get through something like this. And watching my mom go through what she went through was one of the worst experiences in my life. And it, again, changed me forever and set me on a more reinforced course for the future. The third major event in my life that has shaped me was the death of my son, Brian. My son, Brian, was an 18-year-old in high school who 4 months before graduation was involved in a car accident. He hit a tree head on and died. It was a drunk driving accident, and he was the drunk driver. That definitely changed everything about my life at that point. I can't tell you how there's nothing worse than losing your own child. It's like losing a part of your future, because you have all these hope and aspirations of what your kids are going to do and what your life is going to be like with them in the future, and that's all taken away in an instant. I remember that phone call late at night that we got that Brian had been in an accident, and I was actually a neurosurgeon. I called for that hospital. I called the hospital to ask, is my son Brian there? And no one would speak to me. And they wouldn't tell me what had happened. And I mean, they know me. I'm Dr. Hefflinger. And I said, "This is Dr. Hefflinger. Can you tell me, is my son there and what's happened?" And they told me, "Dr. Hefflinger, your son's been transferred to Toledo Hospital." And that's when my life changed so drastically, because I knew if Brian went to Toledo Hospital, it had to be a major life-threatening injury, because Toledo Hospital is a level 1 trauma center for life-threatening injuries. I called Toledo Hospital. I'm shaking, my heart's racing. I can hardly hold the phone. I mean, I don't know what to do. I'm a neurosurgeon, but I'm a dad. This is my son. I mean, I know he's been horribly injured, and I didn't know how to feel or what to do. I called Toledo Hospital, and I asked them, "Is my son Brian there?" And again, no one would answer me. And I said, "For God's sake, can you please tell me, is my son Brian there?" And they said that, "Dr. Hefflinger, you just need to come to the hospital. They wouldn't tell me what was wrong. And I knew at that point, if they weren't going to tell me what was wrong with my son, he was either, badly injured or dead, and more than likely dead. My wife and I quickly rushed to the hospital, and to see our son lying there in the trauma room on a cold steel gurney, pale, white, and cold, he was dead. There's no words that I can even tell you how we felt that night. It was the worst experience in my life, saying goodbye to my son, Brian. Those defining 3 events in my life are what shaped me to be who I am today. And yes, I had expectations of what my life would have been and should have been, but that's not what I was given. And so what I did is I took what I was given and I made my life into what I want it to be. Because obviously everything in life, you can't control the circumstances, but you can control how you react to it. And through each tragedy I experienced in my life, I reacted in a way that positioned me in my life to be something better than myself, to do something for others, to help others in the world in ways that maybe my experience through tragedies could help them. And here I am now, 61 years old. I'm a neurosurgeon, but now I'm a person who talks to people on social media. And for me, that transition has been so powerful because I'm realizing how so many people have hardships in their life, and they need to hear from somebody who's been through it, who can give them some advice about how to change your life in the face of adversity. It can be done. I'm living proof of it. I want you to know that you can do it. You just have to believe in yourself, and you have to set a purpose or a goal higher than yourself.